美国总统大选开票特别节目，休斯顿论坛政经关不了共同制作，直播时间11月6号，台北时间下午1点，美西时间晚上9点，德州时间晚上11点。休斯顿论坛常中正、政经关不了彭文正共同主持，美国民主党亚裔主席罗琳，美国资深投资经理人马健，美国休斯顿大学政治学教授李坚强，政治评论员曹长青、杨实秋。第一手的开票，最在地的观察，最前瞻的分析。休斯顿论坛政经关不了联手直播。政经关不了，关不了政经。各位同学，大家好。明天呢，在不到24小时，就是美国总统大选的投开票啦。这一个举足轻重的日子，这个打个喷嚏，全球都会得 COVID 的一个重要的选举呢。当然，政经关不了绝对不会缺席，政经关不了特别我们费尽千辛万苦，跟这个在休斯顿论坛连线。我们把在美国这个华人一个非常重要的政论节目的主持人常中正给请到我们节目中来，跟我一起来主持这个美国总统大选的投开票的过程。当然，最在地的人，他们都在美国待了20-30年以上，所以对美国的政治情势，不管是民主党、共和党，或者是美国各州的投开票的情形，都了若指掌。所以明天台北时间的下午1点钟，我们就开始用马拉松的方式为大家呢拿出来第一手、最及时、最在地的美国总统大选开票及选情，而且呢，我们会在最接近的现场为你们做报道。那明天我们的来宾相当的精彩，这个时间呢是从明天台北时间的下午1点钟开始。台北时间下午1点钟呢，就是美国西岸的晚上9点钟。美国的中部区域，就是包括 Texas 呢，就是晚上的11点。那么到了东岸的纽约呢，就是半夜1点啊。但是我们会全程的呢帮大家转播，一起来见证美国总统选举揭晓的时刻。当然，我们会特别的请到专家，不是专门骗人家，这个专家是非常难选的。不信大家呢去比较一下台湾，或者是在美国，或者在其他地方，所有的特别来宾谈美国总统选举，应该没有我们这种黄金豪华钻石阵容。我们的角度，我们的观点很简单，看世界不能光看台湾观点，看台湾观点，那你这个就井底之蛙；也不能光看美国观点啊，看美国观点这个角度也是扭曲，因为在美国这个总体概念之下，还有很多 subdivision。还有很多 subgroups， 那我们也不能光看民主党的观点或共和党的观点啊。对，所以我今天节目当中呢，我们会请到一位民主党的这个众议员，他是一个典型的民主党员啊，所以他会有不同的观点。那但是我们在明天的总统大选当中，我们会有民主党的观点，会有共和党的观点，会有政治的观点，会有财经的观点，会有华人的观点，会有美国人的观点。好，会有台湾的观点，会有中国的观点，香港的观点，美国的观点等等。我们的来宾真的是豪华、钻石、金刚钻、翡翠的阵容。我们在政治层面上，我们请到了美国休斯顿大学的政治学教授李坚强。那我们也请到了台湾的部分呢，我们请到了杨实秋议员，这个近代史、世界近代史的活字典。那我们美国部分呢，同时请到了这个政论评论委员，大家都熟悉的曹长青曹老师，他的观点非常犀利，他也代表了某种程度呢一些在美国的华人、中国人，他的心也非常像台湾一个比较平衡的观点啊。曹老师刚好在美国待的时间跟在中国待的时间刚好是一半一半啊，所以他很透彻的看得出来这个美国的整个情势的变化。还有非常重要的是，美国总统大选呢，很多人说就跟台湾一样，其实大家都在做这个 pocketbook voting， 投给荷包，意思就是经济这件事情对美国总统的选举来讲至为重要。而且呢， 美国总统大选谁主沉浮，谁入主白宫不是台中，台中是卢秀燕，谁入主白宫这件事情牵涉到了你我的荷包。我们请到了财经专家常中正，还请到了财经专家李健，会从财经政治、美中台以及民主党、共和党的角度，最在地的观察，最全面的分析，你就锁定政经关不了。休士顿论坛也同步播出，各位可以 Google 在 YouTube 上面找休士顿论坛啊，也给他们点赞、分享、小铃铛，要鼓励他们这种非盈利的媒体啊，他们是不盈利的啊，这种 non-profit TV 值得我们大家努力相挺。如果台湾的朋友们或者是其他地的朋友们，你觉得我们老是被喂一种观点，老是当井底之蛙，不妨常常看看休士顿论坛。我知道王定宇看了一定会大呼说：“哇，这匪谍台！”对不起，每一种人都有每一种人的观点。这世界地球上呢有70-80亿人啊，他有很多不同的观点。所以作为一个现代的有民主素养的国民，我们应该把自己的眼界打开，看看世界各地的人不同的观点，不能只有一种声音。所以鼓励大家订阅休士顿论坛，还有政经关不了。请大家呢用+1，用按赞，用分享、小铃铛，用抖内给我们支持。好，明天呢这个节目会从台北时间下午1点钟就开始马拉松接力的方式，一直到投开票结束。虽然有可能万一发生在4年前那个样子，那可能就要搞好几天了，那大概可能没有办法。但是我们尽可能的在当天能够揭晓这个整个选举的过程。一般来讲，大概开票从美西时间大概7点钟就开始，然后陆陆续续就要开始开票了。大概在2个小时，就是美西时间的9点，台北时间下午1点，我们节目一开始的时候，大概可以看出一个端倪。什么意思呢？就是一些比较重要的州，然后你看看它的这个共和党、民主党的消长，你大概可以看出今年的方向。那这中间如果有几个指标州，那7个摇摆州啊，那7个非常重要的关键州啊，这7个关键州如果有一些新的这个发现，特别是 Georgia， 它票通常开得很快啊，宾州这都是大票仓，一个19票，一个16票。那这些呢，如果提前出来的话，美国总统大选应该在台北时间的晚上10点钟左右就应该见分晓了。所以请大家呢，明天不用看别台了，真的没有一个台邀的来宾比政经关不了更内行，我敢这么说啊！我们不是从台湾看美国，也不是从台湾看天下哦，我们是从台美中看美中台，然后集合起来看美国总统大选。好，今天节目呢，我们很特别，在选前一天啊，我在休士顿认识一个朋友，他呢是从广东啊，我的老乡嘛啊，我的祖先是从广东来的，那他的父母亲广东、香港的这个背景，他在德州是德州的州众议员，年轻有为啊。那么他的中文名字叫做叶，不是叶，是吴元之啊，跟叶元之是同样的名字。他的英文名字叫金务，他是 Texas 的 Representatives House Representatives， 就是他们的德州的众议员啊。那我请他呢上我们的节目，不过待会呢是因为是全程英文的访问，他中文要表达政治理念可能比较困难，聊聊天还可以，所以呢我们就用英文来这个全程啊，来看看民主党的观点是什么，也来看看呢在美国的华人现在在一些反华，台湾其实被美国人看起来都是华人嘛，因为我们的政府也承认我们叫做中国的台北嘛 ，Chinese Taipei 嘛。美国人只知道说台湾跟中国之间有一些 tension， 他们比喻成乌克兰跟这个俄罗斯，但是乌克兰跟俄罗斯本是一家嘛，所以他们的想法都是一样的啊。那在这样的情况下，看到台湾人，看到这个中国人，看到新加坡人，看到香港人，甚至马来西亚人，他们看起来都一样。所以在美国呢，有一度这个对华人很不友善，或者对亚洲人很不友善。那金务对这个东西特别，他有很多的体认，所以他呢从政的过程当中呢，他不断的去 打击这种具有种族歧视的在美国的一些政策跟言论。好，待会儿进入广告回来呢，我们要开始就来访问德州的州众议员啊，军务吴元之。进入广告，广告之前麻烦分享、按赞、小铃铛，如果心有余力，不影响各位的生活，那大家也可以抖内给我们。进入广告，马上回来。美国总统大选开票特别节目，休斯顿论坛政经关不了共同制作，直播时间11月6号，台北时间下午1点，美西时间晚上9点，德州时间晚上11点。休斯顿论坛常中正、政经关不了彭文正共同主持，美国民主党亚裔主席罗琳，美国资深投资经理人马健，美国休斯顿大学政治学教授李坚强，政治评论员曹长青、杨石秋，第一手的开票，最在地的观察，最前瞻的分析。休斯顿论坛政经关不了联手直播。Welcome to the True Voice of Taiwan. Today we're honored to have Texas State Representative Jing Wu with us, a rising star in American politics. Mr. Wu, thank you so much for joining us today. It's our great pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here.
Interestingly, we share a lot of things in common. Actually, your Chinese first name, Yuan Zhi, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Is the same as a Taiwanese congressman, the legislator who is also my student at Taiwan University.
What? That's awesome.
Identical. Yuan Zhi.
Yeah.
It's not a very popular name, but another thing they have in common, I mean, you have in common.
Yeah.
You are both very handsome.
Oh, stop.
His name is Ye Yuanzhi. Okay. In addition, my ancestors are also from Guangdong.
Hey.
Yeah, specifically from Fengshen Xian, and were the neighbors of Dr. Shen Yeshen. And we are Hakka people who have lived in Taiwan for 10 generations.
Yeah.
You probably speak some Chinese, right?
Yeah, 一点点. I speak Cantonese.
Oh, 識聽識講啊?
Hey, 對，識聽唔識講。
好犀利啊！
我的普通不好，听得懂一点点，说不好。
Oh, that's great. Your Chinese is much better than my English.
No, my children, my boys, their Chinese is much better than mine.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's worth it. I mean, I earned my PhD from the University of Wisconsin-Madison 30 years ago, and then returned to Taiwan after not speaking English for 30 years. I'm now relearning it, starting from ABC, and this is a book. Let's say that to make things fair, should I switch
your English is
you in
excellent.
Chinese?
Your English is excellent. Don't worry about
it. Just kidding. Okay, we have another thing in common. My wife is also a primetime news anchor in Taiwan.
Very nice.
Yeah, quite popular.
Yeah.
And
And my wife is a reporter here in a local ABC station.
Yeah, that's why I ask you. I imagine you understand what it is like to live with a partner who has a prominent public-facing career.
Yes.
We are like strangers share the same fate.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's I joke about it that I've been in politics for almost for more than a decade now, but people are never scared of me, but they're scared of my wife.
Yeah. Okay, because I uncovered the truth about then President of Taiwan Tsai Ing-wen's fraudulent doctoral degree. The Taiwanese government sued me for defamation, issued a 13-year arrest warrant, and confiscated my Taiwanese passport. That's why, after 20 years in the news industry, we left Taiwan and came to the United States.
Interesting.
Since Mia's main job is to oversee public affairs, I guess that makes you one of her subjects, right?
No, actually, she's not allowed to cover me out of ethical rules. And also, so she does not cover generally politics that involve Democrats and Republicans, right? Because I'm a Democrat. So there's local politics that don't involve that, like city council and other places.
Okay. As the habit of a journalist, do you feel like she's prosecuting you at home?
I think I'm the prosecutor. I'm the actual former prosecutor and the trial lawyer. So I think we have very different ways of getting to the truth. Whereas I think she just asks questions and then just waits for you to answer. I think I chop up my questions into small pieces and make you answer them one at a time, just like a trial lawyer. She hates that, by the way. No, it's very interesting because we are both observers. We are both people who observe what other people do, what other people say, the way they do it, the way they say it, and we try to read clues and try to figure out people what their motivation is, what their intent is, and we try to figure those things out. It's a very similar type of profession, right? And her job is to convince people that they should care about a story. My job is to try to convince people they should care about an issue.
Yeah,
it's really not that different. So I sometimes help her, give her advice on her story, and she gives me advice on politics. It works out very well.
Okay. After earning your bachelor's degree and the JD in Texas, you work as a prosecutor for a while.
Yes.
Could you talk about your political career and what inspired you to go into politics?
I never really have a great answer. That's not the usual, I'm here to serve people, answer, which is like, it's okay. That's not really a really honest answer. But I would say, this is what I always end up saying, that I'm the person that if I walk down the street and a newspaper is just blowing on the ground, what do you think I would do? I'm gonna go pick it up, right? Right? I will be that guy that I will run after it. No matter what I'm doing, I will run after that newspaper, catch it, and pick it up and throw it away.
Yeah.
And that's who I am. And what I always say is, why would you do that? Because my answer always is, well, if I don't do it, who's going to do it? Right? And we should not wait until other people solve our problems. We should not wait for heroes to rescue us. We must be our own heroes. We must rescue ourselves. That's it.
Okay. What reforms do you think Texas needs most right now?
How many hours do you have?
30, 40 minutes, if you wish.
Let me give you the very, very short version. At a most fundamental level, Texas, just like America, is a constantly changing place. And Texas, more so than even the rest of America, is changing so much faster. About 20,000 people move into the state every week. This is a huge change. And the problem is that the government here is not governing for the new Texas. They're governing for the old Texas, and they're trying to put laws in place to keep the old ways and the old things in place, while the rest of the state says, hey, we want new stuff. We want different stuff. That's at the end of the day, you want us to talk about education, you want to talk about healthcare, talk about roads, talk about the environment. At the end of the day, what it really is about is new versus old. That's it, right? Texas needs to say, it is time to move forward.
Okay. And how do you feel the United States can truly make America great again? Even though I know that's the slogan from your political opponents.
Yeah, no, but let's use it, right? They also use this phrase called America First, right? Which is, in the old days, this was an extremely racist statement, because what it was really meant was America is just meant for white people. So we should take care of the white people first. And don't worry about the Asians, don't worry about the Latinos, don't worry about the black people, just America first, which is just white people, right? But I say, like, why don't we take America first to make America great again? You know who puts America first? The teachers. You know who puts America first? Police officers, firefighters, people serving in the military, people who are public servants, people who have given up wealth, given up power, given up prestige, so they can serve the public, so they can serve the nation. They are putting America first. They are making America great, right? We don't need to make America great again. America has always been great. And it's been great because of the people, because of the immigrants, because of everybody from around the world who bring the very best to our country, right? I have no problem with Make America Great Again or America First, but it's the interpretation. My interpretation is, we are one country and one people, and we should always fight to make America great, make America first, by helping people.
Both you and your wife are in a meaningful yet high-risk professions. Journalists are often disliked by those they are monitoring, and politicians can be polarizing figures. How do you handle this challenge of work?
We just take it one step at a time, deal with it day by day, because we get threats, we get harassment. People send us very mean things. People threaten us. It's just the nature of the job. One, you have to have as we say in America, a thick skin, right? People insult me. People call me communist spy, CCP spy every single day on social media. And I don't care, right? I know what I am. I know what I stand for. I don't really care what you think, right? I let my actions speak louder than your words. So my wife, she is a award-winning journalist. Award-winning journalist. So, you know, they can criticize her and say she's doing a bad job, but her colleagues and the awards say differently. So we ignore it. We don't think about it. If somebody has a valid criticism, we will listen to it. But people who just mock and insult and all these things, we don't care. Don't care. It means nothing.
美国总统大选开票特别节目，休斯顿论坛政经关不了共同制作。直播时间11月6号，台北时间下午1点，美西时间晚上9点，德州时间晚上11点。休斯顿论坛常中正、政经关不了彭文正共同主持。美国民主党亚裔主席罗琳，美国资深投资经理人马健，美国休斯顿大学政治学教授李坚强，政治评论员曹长青、杨石秋。第一手的开票，最在地的观察，最前瞻的分析。休斯顿论坛政经关不了联手直播。
always out the door. You're a lost cause. I can't hold you anymore. I need a reason for why you're so unsure. You're a lost cause after all. There are many types of strangers, some you'll get to know, but I am the kind you used to know, but you still act like you don't know anymore. So I lay there with my eyes wide open, tracing back the moments, all the words you spoke and you saw on your line. Now you're a lost cause. You're always out the door.
Since 2013, you have served as Democratic member of the Texas House of Representatives,
Yep.
during which you have been involved in several notable and sometimes controversial events, such as the 2021 walkout.
Yes.
Could you discuss the circumstances of what event or how you addressed the challenge it presented?
Well, for anyone who doesn't understand, all legislative bodies, whether here or in Taiwan, you have to have a certain number of members present in order to conduct business legally, so that
Yeah.
you don't just get 5 people and just pass a lot of laws without anyone noticing. So we have the same rule in Texas, and in 2021, they were attempting to pass some really terrible voting laws that would make voting for Asians, for Latinos, for Black people, for immigrants, for people who didn't speak English well, for people who were handicapped, for veterans, all these different things. It would make voting for them much, much harder. And we say this is a direct attack on our community. And the way we stopped it, because we didn't have other choice, is we broke quorum. We left. We went from Texas to Washington, D.C., and so because we left, they did not have enough members and could not meet to pass those laws. And while they were trying to negotiate with us to come back, we made them remove certain provisions from the law. We said, we don't want this, we don't want this, we don't want this. And eventually, we didn't get everything we wanted, but there was enough that we say, okay, fine, we will come back, right? And people say, well, what was the point? What did you win? We made a terrible bill into just a bad bill, right? It's something. It's not everything we can do, but it was better than passing the bad bill, the terrible bill. So, you know, all those things required a lot of sacrifice, because we could not leave Washington, D.C. And we were there without my family, without working, and many people had no paychecks and had nothing for over a month, right? So it's not easy, but you do what you have to do. This is not about you. This is about protecting the public.
As an immigrant from China, I think you were immigrated since you were 5, right?
Yeah, 4
or
or
6.
5, somewhere around there.
Okay. Then during the periods of heightened U.S.-China tensions, have you faced questions regarding your loyalty?
Yes. Just
Oh, really?
yes. Just very recently, during the last few years, especially with our fight against the alien land laws, against the laws that say Chinese immigrants may not buy a home, may not buy commercial property, may not buy farmland, and later on they even added may not own oil and gas or even timber, right? When we fought those laws, people made very direct attacks against me. And they put out pictures with my face on Mao's body. They would put out picture. They would send terrible emails to my friends and my family. But that is the nature of how Asian Americans are treated in America, right? I am not the only one. People around this country, if they have Asian face, people just say, "Oh, you're Chinese." They don't care. Right now, during the pandemic, we had a Burmese, right? Burmese family was attacked by a crazy man with a knife and just started stabbing the father, the son, the daughter, because he thought they were Chinese, right? And for Chinese people, like Burmese people look nothing like Chinese, and nobody would make that mistake. But it didn't matter to anyone else. You looked Asian, so therefore you must be a spy. You must be bringing COVID. You must be doing terrible things to our country. So a lot of the people who attack Asians on the street, in the stores, in the parking lots, they think they're doing a service to the country because the country has made Asians into the bad guy, right? And that's what we're fighting against right now.
Okay, let's talk about the criticism of tax immigration and border enforcement policies. Last year, you even called for criminal charges against state officials. Could you elaborate on this situation?
So you have to remind me of which thing that they did. There's a lot of things that our state leaders should be arrested for. Not the least of which is our Attorney General, who is right now the subject of a federal investigation into public corruption, into taking bribes, into using his office for personal gain, into pulling favors for his friends and his mistress, and all these different things. There's lots of members lots of people who have committed crimes in public office in Texas, but they mostly get away with it because if they're Republican, then Republicans have no interest in investigating them, right? That's it. It's an ongoing battle, right, in our state. I mean, I'm not sure what else I can say.
Yeah. Regarding highly controversial public affairs, what advice would you offer to young people? Should they choose compromise or should they firmly uphold their beliefs and values without retreating?
There's no easy way to answer that question because I think it depends on the situation. You never want to be so stubborn that you give up something that's good because it's not perfect. But you never want to compromise so much that your values have lost all meaning. So there is something in the middle, and what makes a leader a good leader is a leader that knows how to read, as we would say, read the tea leaves, to predict when they should stand firm and when they should compromise and when they should negotiate. That's what a good leader should be, right? They make the right actions, make right decisions at the right times.
Why are there so few Chinese Americans involved in politics in the U.S.? Is it that Chinese Americans are unwilling to engage in public affairs, or are they participating in a more invisible way?
Probably all of the above. But let me put it this way. The Chinese community in America is split into maybe two different groups. One is pre-1965 Chinese families that have been here probably 100 years. These are the original Chinese from the gold rush, from the railroad, right? And they never left. There's a very small population, and then there is then other mainstream Asian people, mainstream Chinese. But there's a second group of people that came after 1980s, right? That came my family. The second group, and there's even a newer generation of people who just came from China and Taiwan, like right now, within the last 10 years. So for people who just got here in the 1980s and 90s and the 2000s, you can understand why it might be a little scary that they have only been citizens maybe 10 years. And this is maybe only the second time that they've ever voted. And so for them, asking them to run for office is difficult because they feel unsafe, unsecure in their own community, right? So a lot of the people who run are people like me, younger generation, right? People in their 30s. And then the other people who run are people that much older Chinese that have been here a long time, right? But you are also right. There's also a cultural problem. I don't know the right word for it, or the right how to say it in Chinese, but as I go talk to people around the country, people always bring up to me, oh, there's a Chinese saying that says Chinese people only sweep their own front steps, right? That Chinese people only take care of what is directly in front of them, that only their own personal things. That we don't, we ignore things in the outside world, that outside our family, outside of our own little bubble. So if somebody is hurt over there, we look away and we walk past them, right? If you tell people, if you have a culture where everyone mind your own business, that is the opposite of a public leader.
美国总统大选开票特别节目，休斯顿论坛政经关不了共同制作，直播时间11月6号，台北时间下午1点，美西时间晚上9点，德州时间晚上11点。休斯顿论坛常中正、政经关不了彭文正共同主持。美国民主党亚裔主席罗琳，美国资深投资经理人马健，美国休斯顿大学政治学教授李坚强，政治评论员曹长青、杨石秋。第一手的开票，最在地的观察，最前瞻的分析。休斯顿论坛政经关不了联手直播。
Now you're lost 'cause you're always out the door. You're lost 'cause I can't hold you anymore. I need a reason for why you're so unsure. You're a lost cause after all. There are many types of strangers, some you'll get to know, but I am the kind you used to know, but you still act like you don't know anymore. So I lay there with my eyes wide open, tracing back the moments, all the words you spoke and you saw on your line. Now you're a lost cause you're always out the door.
If you tell people, if you have a culture where everyone mind your own business, that is the opposite of a public leader, right? So even I'm an attorney. I'm a fourth generation attorney. I've been a public leader for over 10 years. Even still, my parents still say, hey, don't rock the boat. Don't cause too much trouble, right? Don't make
Yeah.
waves. That's my job. My entire job is to make waves and cause trouble, right?
Yeah.
But it's that attitude of we want to be good little Chinese and be quiet and just work hard for them. We don't want to cause any trouble,
Yeah.
right? But there's a cost to that. When you say you can punch me and kick me and insult me and dishonor me, and I will do nothing. I will just smile and go back to work. That doesn't really encourage people to stop, right?
Yeah.
If a bully is beating you up, if you do nothing,
Yeah.
why would they stop? So the lesson that I am trying to teach the Asian community, the Chinese community, is exactly that. If you want the bullies to stop, then you need to punch them in the nose. You have to fight back. And the way you fight back is you run. You run for office. You vote. You organize the community. You make them pay for disrespecting our community, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what other communities do, right? They disrespect the Latinos. The Latinos say, screw you. We're going to find somebody, one of our own, to run against you. And they run and they win. It sends a very powerful message. But the problem is our community, we don't want to send a message. We want to be quiet. And especially with the alien land laws that are coming back, right? And it's not just property. It's not just property ownership. They're going to bring back laws that say Chinese people cannot work in anything else other than making food. Go open a restaurant. That's it, right? And they have already talked about banning Chinese from research, banning Chinese from medicine, banning Chinese from biotech, banning Chinese from telecom. These are not jokes. They're serious about it, and they've already started the process, right?
Yeah.
And if that does not motivate our community to stand up and fight back, I don't know what else is going to.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, not only your parents, my parents too, for most of the parents of our similar backgrounds, always guide us, if not push us, don't involve in politics.
Mm-hmm.
Go for medical school.
Yes.
Be engineer.
Yes.
That's how I were educated.
I was the same way. I'm the black sheep of the family, right? I'm the disappointment.
Right.
No, I mean, again, even being in the position I am now, leading the community, fighting for our rights at a national level, even still, every once in a while, you know, my mom says, hey, are you sure you want to keep doing this? Don't you want to go make money instead? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But as I talk to young people around the country, young Asians, young Chinese people, I say, I know what your parents tell you to do. I know what they want you to do. But if you have a real passion for leadership, for protecting the community, then somebody has to make the sacrifice. Somebody's family will have to sacrifice one child to say that child will become a leader. That child would not worry about money, would not worry about career, but that child will focus on being a leader for the community because we always need someone to lead, right? And I talk to parents and say, if you have the child, if you have the one child who's willing to deal with the politics, willing to deal with all the dirty stuff that is involved with politics and suffer the people insulting them and kicking them and punching them, if you have that child who's willing to do that, you owe it to the community. It is your duty to make sure that they become a leader. Because that talent, that skill to be a leader is very rare.
Yeah. In your political plans, what do you hope to accomplish for Chinese Americans or Asian Americans in the United States?
And I'm very proud to be Chinese. I'm very proud to be Chinese. And I've been more proud to be Chinese now that our community is come under attack. But we should help all Asian communities, because just as we suffer, there are Asian communities all over America who suffer in different ways because of different laws, because of different attacks. And I want us as a community to rise up, to say the Black people fought for their rights. The Latinos fought for their rights. It is now time for the Asians to fight for their rights, right? And we are ready. Because the thing that I have to remind Asian people in America, the protections that helped you, the opportunities that were there, the rights that you have, those were paid for in blood. They were paid for in blood by other people, by Black people, by Latinos, by Jews. They paid the price. Many of them bled, a lot of them were killed. And they died so you could have these rights. But it doesn't mean that those rights last forever. Sometimes people in the next generation will have to fight for them all over again, right? Because as you enjoy the rights, somebody else is on the other side pushing the other direction, saying we want to take those rights away. So our community has benefited so much from the civil rights era, from the work that Black people did. And I tell them, it's our turn now. There's no free lunch. Somebody has to pay sometime.
Yeah.
So if there is no free lunch, it is now time for us to work. Because now it is our right. We're the targets now, right? And so if you're not willing to fight for your own rights, you don't really deserve it then. You do not deserve something that you're not willing to fight for.
Yeah.
That's it.
Have you had a chance to go back to Guangzhou?
Yes.
Okay.
Love it. Totally different. I don't recognize anything. I mean, but don't forget, I left at 4 years old. So, but China is completely different. Hong Kong is still the same. I love Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Hong Kong is still the same, but Shanghai, Guangzhou, Beijing, I mean, I don't recognize anything.
Yeah.
It looks like a modern Western city. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yuanta is so good. So good.
I love.
Do you still have family or friends there?
Oh, of course. Of course. Of course. We still have a lot of family in Hong Kong.
Oh yeah.
And then my mom's family is in Guangzhou. My father's family is mostly in Hong Kong.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So
but my father's family originally is Fujian.
Hokkien.
Yeah.
Have you ever visited Taiwan?
Yes.
Oh, really?
In
what
fact,
was your experience like?
Love Taiwan. We went. My wife and I went 2013. So after my first session, we took a trip with other members, other legislators, and went to Taiwan. It's beautiful, beautiful country. I love all the public infrastructure, and it makes me sad because, Taiwan is a small island.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of resources, but yet everybody has a good job. Everybody is taken care of. Everyone has health care, but there's good public transportation. And why can't we have that? Why can't Texans have the same thing? Why? The thing that blew my mind is we did the high-speed rail, right?
Yeah.
And beautiful, just easy, cheap, fast, wonderful. And we went down the coast and went to all these different industrial parks, special industrial parks created by that was helped by the government, and companies could just move into one of the locations and start production. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Why don't we do that?
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. Thank you for providing our audience with such valuable insights. I also want to wish you the best in the upcoming election.
Thank you.
I'll be sending you a book series called Evil, which documents my journey of confronting the dark forces in politics and justice during my career as a journalist and a professor. It's available in both Chinese and English, and is preserved in the Congress Library, the British Library,
wonderful.
and several Texas University libraries as well.
Excellent.
And please give me a comment, feedback. And
Okay.
yeah. Thank you for taking the time for this interview and for connecting with our 1/3 million audiences.
Yeah.
Wishing all the best. And
Thank you.
please send my regards to Mia. I
Will do.
look forward to the day when I can be interviewed by her as well.
Very
Thank
good.
you again.
Thank you. 谢谢.
We should win at least one vote tomorrow.
I hope so.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.